When it comes to maintaining tanks, algae outbreaks can be some of the worst roadblocks to come across if you don't know what you're doing. They can ruin a tank beyond repair if they grow too wide and will absolutely kill the wildlife currently in that tank. In order to really dissect how algae contributes to a tank environment, we should go over how it forms in the first place. The general basis is that algae will grow whenever there is too much of one variable present, such as water, nutrients, and light. In regards to that light, whether it is natural or artificial, algae will bloom if they are in contact with the light for too long or if it's too direct on the tank's location intensity-wise. Overfeeding the fish can also be a crucial factor, since doing that will produce more nitrogen, the perfect gateway into causing a strong algae bloom. Low circulation and unbalanced nutrients are also some things that can cause algae blooms, though they're less likely to appear with adequate tank measurements. Now the real question knowing all that is, what can we do to stop this? Well, there's a couple things to consider. The first thing you can try is to check and reduce the lighting of your tank if it's too extreme. Sunlight and even artificial light produce algae growth, so try and set the light activity in moderation to a few hours a day to the best of your ability. Another thing you can do is to moderate the rate at which the fish are fed, given that many tank owners will overfeed the fish, which will be a huge contributor to algae blooms. The fish should be able to eat all the food in 5 minutes, and it's recommended to remove any excess food after that time to make sure it lingers and it doesn't contribute to the nitrogen levels. If you want to add to the tank rather than remove stuff though, it's recommended you get specific plants and fish that can help cut down the algae populations. For the plants, you can add some like chateau, mermaid tan, or even a small mangrove for saltwater, and lilies and lotuses for freshwater, which are all live plants that can compete and often steal the nutrients the algae need to survive, which can help keep them in check more easily. As for the fish, sea urchins, hermit crabs will reduce some of the algae in the saltwater, and catfish, plecostomus, and flatfish reduce it in freshwater, as they all feed on it directly, giving them a good role to serve while living in your tank. Above all though, snails are the absolute best for cleaning algae that may be on the walls, since it can get stuck quite easily, and the snails will often leave your other organisms alone while they take care of the algae that they can find, making them a valuable asset for the tank, even if many seem to be annoyed by their presence. Finally, there's the matter of what to do if the algae bloom happens and you have no means of taking care of it. In this instance, the most important thing would be to enact a water change immediately. Simply use a vacuum, an RO pump, and a bucket, and remove about half the water with the vacuum and replace it with the RO water in the back with quick succession. This can help remove some of the pre-existing nitrogen in the tank, which will help decrease the rate that the algae blooms at. You can also try and scrape some of the algae off the side of the tank, which the snail may have missed, but I don't recommend this method since it can get quite exhausting on the arms and it sticks too well to the point where you won't be able to make much more progress that the snails, while they won't make in seconds, they'll definitely be able to get faster than the human arm can. You can also clean some of the filters or any other decorations that may have algae on them. Algae blooms may seem like a troublesome force, but if you follow the guide here, you should be able to combat them with no problem at all. Hopefully, you can move forward not having to worry about them infesting your tank like ours was, so go out there and get them cleaned down!